Why did you stop?
Welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff. I'm in Malaysia. This is a local area with a park and a playground, and it's near where a guy I know lives. And we've used his place as kind of the end point of the trip. And yeah, this is my bike that I took. So it's a 2021 Honda Wave Alpha 110. It's got a 110cc engine, similar to a whole bunch of bikes that exist in the world, which we'll talk about soon. And yeah, I'd just like to show you through it. It's done 2,600 kilometers since I got it, and I'm just really excited to show it off. It's a pretty boring standard bike in the scheme of things, but I really do, you know, I've got a massive affection for this bike now because it's taken me all the way around Malaysia and southern Thailand. What we've got here is a NBC 110 motor, or a CRF 110 motor, or a Honda Wave 110 motor, or a Honda Blade 110 motor, or a Honda EX5 110 Dream motor. This one's carbureted though. So as you can see up there, there's the tap on the side of the carburetor, there's the choke there. And if I try to show you from this angle there, it's got that same nice valve cover that they have on the 110s. You know, there's nothing really different apart from the fact it's carbureted, and a lot of the ones that I come into contact with are fuel injected. So yeah, this has kick and electric start. You've got 4 down and then 4 back. It's also got a revolving box, so if you're stopped in fourth, you can go down through neutral again. So a pretty cool little engine. Show you the other side. The other side just looks like an engine, and that's about it. Oil's fine. It's got a kick start. The electric starts up here, which is kind of controls, which we'll talk about soon. But yeah, it's just a bog standard 110 motor. I can tell you now, I've got a lot of riding footage of this, so I'll throw it over top, or maybe at the end. This thing here barely hit, I think 98 with me, my weight. You know, I'm about 100 kgs. At the moment, fully loaded with a top box, which I've taken the rack off now. Yeah, it did about 100 kilometers now, or 98 actually, technically with GPS. The wheels, I mean, these are one of my favorite things. That in Malaysia, there's a lot of bikes that come out with alloys standard, and in a lot of other countries, like Thailand, you know, spokes are the first option. But you can get spoked models here, but these cool alloys have done, you know, the trick. And on the front and rear, tire-wise, I went for some brand new Diablo Rosso Sports, so Pirellis. And so it's a 70/90 17 on the front, and then over on the rear is an 80/90 17. So yeah, set of alloys. They are Honda made. They're tubeless as well, unless you get a puncture, in which case you're probably not going to be tubeless anymore. But yeah, there you go, Honda. It's clearing that speedo off. So controls are really basic. Let's start with the dash. So if we turn it on, you've got neutral here, 1, 2, 3, 4, gear position indicator. We've got 0 through to 120. However, at 80, you're into the red. I would sit between 80 if we weren't in a rush. If we were in a rush, I could sit it on the 90 mark, which is probably about 82, 83 kilometers an hour anyway. Sitting up at that 98 kilometer mark, you know, the speedo was well into the 110 zone. This is GPS verified that I did 98, so it was okay at that speed, but you know, it's a 110, not a 125. It's definitely got a little bit less pep than the Wave. So yeah, speedo has a fuel gauge, turn signals left and right, and the high beam. You've got your high and low beam here, your horn there, and then you've also got your turn signals left and right. We've got an electric start here, and the bike starts and goes, and that's it. Probably can't even hear it running, but it is. Turn it off for now. Other controls, you've got the rocker shifter, which we've already talked about there, and you've got a side stand and a center stand. You've got the pillion foot pegs on the back here, which are attached nice and separate and not on the swing arm, so it means a passenger can actually have a comfortable ride and their legs aren't going up and down the whole time. Headlight, we've got it in the top. We've got a turn signal here, and then on the rear, we've actually got separate turn signals on the back that aren't integrated into the tail light. So the reason I'm showing you this is because another one of us bought a Honda Alpha 110, and I'm going to put it in at the end of this clip, and it's red, and it's a slight bit different to this model. So you've got your rear reflector here, number plate light, and that's about it when it comes to controls. So different features that it has. It's got a little bit of underseat storage, so we'll jump in there and have a look. If we grab the key, and then we go here, unlock, open, and you've got this much underseat storage. A lot of the, we've just taken the rear rack off that housed the top box, so a lot of the screws haven't been put back in yet. A 3.7 litre tank, I believe, which looks kind of substantial because it's quite long, but it actually follows the arch of underneath the bike there, so you've got this kind of big curved bit there. So the tank is a lot less capacity than you think. The newer ones are fuel injected, 2024 model, and they've also got a 4.1 litre tank as opposed to this 3.7, I think it is. But yeah, fuel tank gauge, or fuel tank sender, gauge sender, and yeah, battery is sitting underneath here. So yeah, underseat storage is pretty cool. We put that down and clip it, done. The other cool thing, which once again I haven't put the bolt back, that fell out twice on the way, by the way, I had to replace it. Are these knee baskets. This is a Malaysian centric thing which they tend to love, the knee baskets, and I love too. You know, in my Honda Wave 125 I've got a basket on the front, but they chuck them here. So with this, a little bit of underseat storage and a top box, you've actually got an incredible amount of storage for your bike. So yeah, the knee basket's a cool little feature there as well. Apart from that, there isn't much more to talk about. Front disc, which is quite cool. Rear drum brake, which is also cool. Standard shocks. The exhaust looks similar to what the Wave 125 exhaust ends up looking like these days as well. They did go for a skinnier exhaust in the 110s for a long time, but that's been changed. Yeah, drum brake on the rear and a couple of side reflectors. And that's really about it. Let's go and get the other Wave Alpha 110. And here we are, Honda Wave Alpha 110 number 2. And they look exactly the same, right? Well, you'd be forgiven for thinking that. But there are a few differences. So if we start with the decals, we do have Wave A, Alpha here at the back, and Wave Alpha on the red one as well. But the main difference is that I don't have Wave written here, I think. I think it's got Alpha maybe written there. But mine says Premium Sport here, and Andrew's bike, which is this one here, says Premium Sport there. So yeah, a little bit of a difference there. Also his headlight is a little bit different. So you see my headlight goes from the top of the handlebars, and then you've also got the turn signals incorporated into the front plastics. Andrew's got his headlight at the top of the handlebars, same shape, but his turn signals are here and not in here. We do have the same driving light though. So this is 2020 versus 2021. So you see the small differences they do year to year with little variances on these bikes to kind of give them a little bit of a difference compared to the year before, and then they can of course claim that those are features. So yeah, all in all, they're very much the same bike. But that's about it. I'll put some footage of these things being ridden over top, but that's about it from this episode of Small Bike Stuff. Welcome to the Honda Wave Alpha 110, made by Boon Siew Honda here in Malaysia. What a great country.
Why did you stop? I think the left side looks better.